now. Hello everyone and welcome to another cyber briefing video from Hoop Cyber. I'm Lisa Ventura, Head of Communications, and I'm delighted to be in conversation today with our CEO and founder, Simon Johnson. Next week, Infosecurity Europe kicks off at Excel, and this is a key event in the cybersecurity calendar where the InfoSec community comes together to innovate, collaborate, and shape the future in cybersecurity. But this year marks a very special milestone because Infosecurity Europe is celebrating its 30th anniversary. And this is a testament to 3 decades of dedication to cyber resilience, thought leadership, and industry progress. So, Simon, before we dive into Hoop Cyber and you being at Infosecurity Europe this year, let's take a moment to reflect. So, what are some of your most memorable experiences from past Infosecurity Europe events?
Yeah, thanks, Lisa. I genuinely find it hard to believe it's been 25 years. Sorry, 30 years. 25 years for me. So I think the first InfoSec I went to was definitely at Olympia. It was a last minute thing. I was working for a small systems integrator, and I think we got a last minute opportunity to have a small stand. I went along with one of my colleagues, and we had a great time. And I've been going back every year since. And so I think the first time I must have gone would have been it was either 1999 or 2000. And obviously it's moved around a few times over the years between Olympia and Earls Court and back to Olympia again, and then obviously more recently at Excel. But the consistent thing for me is, and I know loads of people mention this, is it's just an opportunity to meet up with my network, whether that's network of other partners and vendor contacts or customers over the years, um, and everybody just seems to still go there one way or another, right? Whether it's because you're interested in being in the main sessions, meeting with new technology vendors, or whether you just like going to the fringe events because there is so much going on outside of the main event. For me, it's just been a firm part of the calendar every year. And yeah, really looking forward to next week.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, I've been going to InfoSec since about 2008, which is when I transitioned into the cybersecurity industry. And I remember going with my ex-wife, Amy, and she was working at Portcullis Computer Security at the time, who have now since been brought out by Cisco. But they didn't have a stand at the main event. And you're right, it's moved from Earls Court to Olympia and now to Excel and to different places. But I loved what Portcullis did. Clive Room was their director of marketing at the time. Absolutely amazing, amazing gentleman. I just love him to bits, and I've known him for years. And he used to, they used to take over a pub nearby and rebrand it as the Portcullis Arms. And they used to have like a steel band playing and food and catch it. And you're right, it's all about that community, those meetups, and getting those meaningful conversations going. So, and I think Clive is now part of Pulse Conferences, and they have a fringe event at InfoSec this year as well. So. Could you perhaps talk to us as well a little bit about the key themes and challenges that Hoop Cyber is focusing on at this year's event?
Yeah, so I think for us, it's if you those of you who don't know who we're focused predominantly on modernizing security operations and building better data engineering that empowers that capability. So for me, I'm really interested to see what's going on in the world of federated query across multiple different platforms. What's happening in terms of building out genuine detection as code, whether that's in terms of ingesting and detecting data in the stream, whether that's building your own detections within a large data lake, like we often do with Amazon Security Lake. I'm really interested in seeing what's going on in the world of threat intelligence. That's always critical to us in terms of how it builds things. And it wouldn't be the buzzword without mentioning AI. So, I'm really keen to understand how can we do more with the technology platforms we've got to enable our people to be more focused on the things that really matter to them. And I think that's always been a consistent theme for us. Whether that's moving towards automated workflows with a SOAR type capability, or whether it's now, is there a genuine way for an AI SOC to properly empower an organization? So yeah, that's quite a lot of stuff, to be honest, Lisa, and I'm not
Yeah.
sure if I'll get through it all while I'm there, um, but those are the things that I'm mostly focused on. Yeah.
Absolutely. And if you come back with any good information around the whole AI piece, I would love to hear it from you for something else that I'm working on launching in the next couple of months or so. But how is Hoop Cyber helping organizations today? Just get around and navigate. The cybersecurity landscape. I mean, there's just so much going on. There've been
Yeah.
cyber attacks in the last few weeks. The UK has been getting hammered with them, and I can mention Marks and Spencers, the Co-op, Adidas, Harrods. They've been coming at us left, right, and centre. So how's Hoop Cyber going to be helping organisations navigate all these
Yeah.
threats?
Well, I think the first thing is we haven't got a magic button that's going to solve world peace. So I wish I did. I wish I did, and I genuinely feel for those teams, particularly working in those retail organisations that have been struggling because I've heard how hard everyone's working to try and fix these problems, and and there is no silver bullet, right? So I think if I step back from that for a second, I think the things that what we're trying to really do is enable our customers to make the most of the security telemetry that they have got, right? So this isn't I'm going to sell you a new widget or I'm going to implement a new endpoint or a new detection thing here. This is about, most organizations we work with have invested really significantly in security technologies and capabilities. They've invested significantly in their people to be able to operationalize that, but there is a disconnect between the capabilities you've got and the people you've got and the volume of data that people are being swamped with, right? So, if you think back to just say 5, 10 years ago, when a customer who deployed a modern SIEM platform would maybe be ingesting 100 or 200 gigabytes of data a day, there are now many large organizations ingesting 20, 30, 40 gigabytes of data, but they may have 100 gigabytes a day of data
Yeah.
that they're not able to actually visualize. And you scale that down to any type of organization, very few places do we go where people are able to access and build security telemetry on the full breadth of security data they've invested in. So our focus is completely on how do we give you the most sensible and practical way to visualize that data at scale, and where we can introduce automation or where we can introduce smart detection efficacy to take the load off the individuals, we'll do that. Where we can help you save money across your platforms, we'll do that. But with the whole, there's this very specific objective is being able to detect threats very quickly, very straightforwardly, using the data and the capabilities you've already invested in. That's what we do all day, every day.
Absolutely. And finally, Simon, if anybody would like to find out more about what you've just been speaking about or want to find out more about Hoop Cyber, how can anyone at InfoSec meet up with you at the event?
Yeah, so we'll be there. I'll be there personally, definitely on the Tuesday and the Wednesday. Thursday to be confirmed. You can reach out to me via LinkedIn. Feel free to reach out to me via the Hoop page on LinkedIn, or send me an email. It would be fantastic to meet up. I'll be going to various different events and speaker events and fringe activities. And I'll certainly be walking the hall. So. I've got plenty of friends and colleagues over the last 25 years who I'll no doubt wave to and say hi to while I'm there, as well as many customers. So really looking forward to it. And yeah, anybody who sees this and would like to catch up, please reach out.
Wonderful. Thank you, Simon, especially for these insights. And thank you to everyone tuning in. It's clear that 2025 is a pivotal year for cybersecurity. And we at Hoop Cyber are proud to be at the forefront of helping organizations rise to this challenge. And as Infosecurity Europe celebrates its 30th year, it's really inspiring to see how far we've come as a community. And it's even more exciting to, imagine and see where the next 30 years take us. So, as Simon said, if you're going to be at Info Security next week and you'd like to meet up with them there, please drop us an email via hello@hoopcyber.com to arrange this, or reach out to Simon on LinkedIn. And until then, stay safe, stay secure, and we'll see you all next time.